Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 219 of Looking at Stamps. And this is the episode you have all been waiting for. Not really, but I'd like to think so anyway. And this is the 2020 year in review in postage stamps releases. So let's go. We have the top five, my top five favorite stamps of the year. We also have two biggest disappointments and two biggest surprises, maybe. So let's get started. My fifth favorite stamp of the year was the fruits and vegetables stamp. I really like this stamp. I know we have a lot of fruits and vegetables already, but I just like the Dutch Masters look of these stamps. I think they're just beautiful stamps to look at. And so this was my number 5 choice of the year. That is the fruits and vegetable stamps. Now this is first a special category. This is the biggest disappointment, my second disappointment. So this isn't the most disappointment, my second disappointment. And this is probably going to come as no big surprise, but my second disappointment was the Holiday Delights. I just didn't care for the color palette. This is a really strange shade of red. As I introduced it during the episode, it had more of an orange undertone to it. And it just didn't go with any of my red envelopes, but it does look striking on white. I will give it that. But I was hoping there's going to be some some foil on it or something, but it just wasn't my favorite stamp of the year, and one of my disappointments. My fourth favorite stamp of this year is maybe a little surprise, but is the new Global Forever stamps. This is the chrysanthemum stamp. I just think it's a beautiful stamp, first of all, and two, I was so tired of those green succulents that I think I was just so happy to have a different stamp that this made my top 5 list. But I still do think it's a very beautiful stamp, and it's just a nice different color. So that was my number 4 choice. My second biggest surprise, and here's where I start to deviate, is actually a tie. And it's a big surprise for a variety of reasons, and mainly because of the use of foil. I really did love this Lunar New Year stamp, and the gold accents, the gold foil accents, really make it pop. And it was just such a great look and a surprising look because no one expected that gold foil to be on there. And it is tied with for the exact same reason, the thank you stamps. We weren't expecting anything special in terms of a foil. And I think, there we go. I actually have this upside down. There you go. That makes a lot more sense. But the foil on this really makes these special as well. And we had a thank you stamp previously, but it was a part of the special occasion stamp, and you only would get 2 thank you stamps per set. So this was a welcome relief. And then in the year 2021, we're going to have a special happy birthday stamp as well. So these were 2 of the surprises of the year for me. These were both tied for second biggest surprise. And that's going to bring us to my third favorite of the year. I knew this was going to make it. I just didn't know where it was going to make it in my top 5. And that is the Ruth Asawa stamp set. And one, just the shout out to the artist. This was this year, and 2021 is a great shout out to Pan-Asian artists and scholars. So this was, first of all, unannounced. This came out as a late release, but I really like it because of the color palette. This neutral pastel color palette really is striking, and it's so different from anything that we've had in a long time, to where it was a welcome relief. So this is just beautiful artwork and highlights a very beautiful artist as well. So that was my number 3 favorite stamp. Now comes my biggest disappointment of 2020, and once again, it's a tie, believe it or not. And there are 2 stamps that tied for biggest disappointment. One was the Hearts stamp, the Love Hearts series. This it just does absolutely nothing for me. It's just too basic. There's supposed to be pink hearts in the background. You can barely see them, and it barely registers. And so I just didn't care for this one at all. And the other one that it tied with was this Earth Day stamp. I hated this Earth Day stamp. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. They could have used foil. They could have put something on it to make it special, but it just ugly. There's no other word for it. I just hate it. And this was the only stamp that I did not buy extra copies of. I bought 2 booklets and that's it. And I doubt that I'll probably ever even use those. So that was my greatest disappointment for 2020. My number 2 stamp, this is probably not going to be a big surprise, my number 2 favorite stamp, because this historically has been a series that I've liked, and that is the American Gardens stamp. I love this series, this landscape series of stamps that goes well with Oh Beautiful. It goes well with the Wild and Scenic Rivers. You can pair those, any of those stamps together, and they're going to look great together. So this is just, I've already gone through 4 sheets of these. So it's just a beautiful stamp set, and I really am enamored with it. So that was my number 2 favorite stamp of the year. And then that brings us to my biggest surprise of the year, and it's a tie. I had a hard time making decisions this year. So it's a tie. And the reason why this is tied is because both of these stamps were unannounced. So that's the first surprise. And one of them is the Bugs Bunny stamp set. I love this set. As a kid of the 60s and 70s, I grew up with Bugs Bunny. I just think these are just magnificent stamps, and just a great stamp set. And every time I've used one, same like the Scooby-Doo stamp of last year or 2 years ago, maybe in last year, everyone that receives one of these stamps just raves about it. So there aren't too many people, even internationally, that don't know who Bugs Bunny is. So this was an unannounced stamp, one of 3 unannounced stamps this year. So that's a great stamp. It was a big surprise for that reason. And another one, which was an unannounced stamp, was the Innovation stamp. And this is a double surprise because of this holographic foil on it that makes these very, very special as well. And I've used, I think, a full sheet of these, and I've just now reordered more of them because they are still available. So if you want them, I would suggest that you get them. But I don't think they'll be available much longer. But this holographic foil on this makes these really, really special. So that was my tie for the greatest surprise. And that leaves us with one category left. And that is my favorite stamp of the 2020 season. And that goes to the Winter Scenes stamp set. I absolutely adored this stamp set this year. It was great for holiday cards, and it is one of my favorite stamp releases in a long, long time. So that is it. That is the 2020 year in review. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I will talk with you on Monday. Bye-bye.